Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Monstrositus One, Monstrositus X. I'm your man, your homeboy, your brother from another mother. And this is the Power Matrix. And we're here to talk about Tch-Made America. Tch-Made America is basically what we've been seeing lately, the promoting of weakness. And well, maybe I should just say hi to everybody first. What's going on, everybody? How y'all feeling? Glad that y'all could join me tonight. Uh, yeah, we. I've been noticing a lot things lately, both on both in the game, all over the place. Wherever I go, or whatever I've been seeing, watching things on YouTube and seeing things on Twitter and all sorts of things. But even in the media today, we have a lot of this going on. They're promoting this weakness. Now, back when I came up, there wasn't the promotion of weakness. Everybody that they showed, all of the movies and TV shows, they tried to show you some kind of depiction of strength, both in men and women. When they came out with the $6 million man, the $6 million woman came out right behind it. Captain America came out, Wonder Woman came out, hit the TV. Now, Captain America wasn't all that great, but the Wonder Woman show that that was great with Linda Carter. So we see a lot of that. We've seen a lot of that over the years. It improved. It got even more intense, and we had movies in the 80s and 90s, especially with when Arnold and Sylvester and the big boys hit the stage and started making their movies and blowing up the scene. We had a lot more of what you can say was high testosterone, you know, but it all made sense. See, because men have been showing themselves to be warriors, conquerors, and adventurers. So when movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark came around, we didn't bat an eye at this guy. I guess kind of awkward, rugged looking archaeologist was using a whip and a bull gun and a whip and a pistol to basically get the job done, to get through his archaeological uh, experience and achieve his goals, because that's what men did. Men have been doing it from the beginning of time. And when people found that uh, we've always had this weak and we've always had strength, we've always had that, and that's what we do here in at the Power Matrix and our Monstrosities X channel. We're basically here talking about strength and using your mind to not be manipulated by people. And we have that going on in spades these days. There's a lot of manipulating people, and everything is a manipulation. Everything is psychological. I'm going to do a live stream about that. Everything is psychological. With man, ever since even before, even in nature, everything is psychological. Everything is a display until it becomes absolute aggression. So even in nature, when you have an animal who's small or who's in danger, even plants do it. Plants do it too. They display certain things to that they know can either harm or seem to cause harm because it represents an adversary of some kind. These things are done to ward off or frighten off potential predators. And mankind has known that ever since we first began to speak. Even before we began to speak, man had to use his senses to understand these threats. But in today's society, we've destroyed most of our threats. So the only things that we worry about threatening us now is ourselves. And the problem with that is when over time we got stagnated in the fact that we've had no threats, and we started looking for threats, and especially the weak among us. The weak people among us, they are most more subjected to those around them, and that means people who are every depending on how weak you are, the more potential adversaries or potential dangers there are. And you see today that that's what they're doing. They're promoting this weakness. We don't promote weakness here at the Power Matrix. And at the Power Matrix here, matter of fact, I gotta make me a logo. I gotta make. I got a page for the. I got a page for. And I'm gonna have to get in here and redo all of these. I'm gonna have to put this stuff in a special folder because I gotta get on top of my game, people. So, yeah, what we have here is that people have become accustomed to comfort, and no animal on the planet, no, not even plants, uh, are at ease because they know that any time something is coming to put them in danger. And anything can create a hazardous condition. And we've forgotten that. We've forgotten that, and we've taken ourselves out of those situations by wiping out all of our threats. So nowadays, even in media, they there's always this psychological bombardment, either for your money with commercials or some ideology that people are trying to push or society is trying to push. That's what happens with when you have these types of societal things that's going on. And what we have is the 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 we today we have a lot of situations where they're promoting. Back in the days they promoted strength. That's why you had people who were movie stars. They all had a certain demeanor. All heroes are supposed to have a certain type of demeanor. They're supposed to have a certain type of character. They believe in right and wrong, and they strive for fairness and doing what's right. And you have the and the media promotes this in movies, TV shows, and even in all kinds of things. Comic books, we have it all across the board. That's why you see today uh, a lot of weakness being uh, today we have a lot more weakness in our society, and they're promoting it because they know that, and I'm talking about government and big business because they work hand in hand. And because of that, you see we have a lot of depictions of weakness. Instead, back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, we had strength being depicted. That's why you got actors like uh, Jason Momoa and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and all of those big names from the 80s and 90s, the John Claude's, the Chuck Norris's. They had, if they wasn't big and muscular, they had some kind of skill that made them badass. But now we're as you see the guys like the Momoas getting older, and the Tom Cruises, he's gonna start aging out, and you're gonna see a new breed of depiction. And what I've noticed is that there are a lot more weak depictions, a lot of frail men, lightweight men, bitch made looking men out here being depicted. And what I believe it is, it's a psychological attack. You see, the SJW agenda, they know it's not working, but was it ever meant to? Do you think that they ever really meant for the SJW movement to succeed, this gender war? You believe that they thought that they was going to win? Well, in a way, it depends. Wars can be won in many ways. There's a blitz where you all out attack and you wipe out the enemy, or you can beat them into submission to where they want to give up. And then there's the war of attrition, where you don't even really have to attack in the way where you wiping out people. You can just block them off from resources, right? Block them off from resources until they're uh, starving and in need of water and all of that, and make them give up that way. So I think that the SJW game plan is the war of attrition. Hey, maybe I should stamp that. Check this out. I think, oops, I muted myself. Hold on. Okay. Now, for me, I think that the whole thing is a war of attrition. The SJW war of the gender war is a war of attrition. I don't think that they ever thought to win outright. I believe that what we've seen is a war that is basically meant to outlast us. See, what happened is they bombarded us with a whole lot of ridiculous ideology, a whole lot of ridiculous depictions, and they know that America is not ready for it. But they did this before, back in the 60s and 70s, but it wasn't as drastic. It wasn't as drastic. So you got the Charlie's Angels and a lot of other things, but not really, because we've always had women in media. We've always had depictions of women in media. doing all types of things. Because back in the 50s, they had the McGuire sisters, who were a big singing group who were doing movies. They had a lot of females, the Doris Days. They had the oh, you name it, the Betty Davises, the Marla Dietrichses. Or you can go back as far as back in time for television. There's always been women depicted in movies, and they even had the strong women like Mae West. So having women in TV and movies is not the a problem, but nowadays in the 70s, hold on, back in the 70s, they more or less pushed a stronger woman. Women can be strong type of thing and doing more of the things that you see men do back in the 50s and 60s and earlier times, 30s and 40s. They might not have shown women doing the things that men do, but then you in the 70s and 80s, you got more of these depictions of women fighting back, taking out men, like Coffee, and Coffee, and that's a movie with Pam Grier and and other movies or and TV shows like I said, like Charlie's Angels and all of those things. So we had so in these movies we've had all these depictions and TV shows with women doing things that men did that you didn't see back in the days. Women wielding guns and getting revenge and payback and all of that. And so we had these things, and now we've got movies like Coffee with Pam Grier. We have all types of TV programs, Charlie's Angels. Charlie's Angels, we had this strong women, and all of these shows depicted women doing things that only you saw men doing before. And as you came into modern age, it has gotten even more progressive as far as women doing things such as Set It Off. Uh, that was a great movie with women who was basically they were basically women who were bank robbers and stealing and robbing and doing things that you saw men doing. And nowadays you don't see that anymore. You have men being depicted, well, you're not seeing it as much. So we had the muscle man and everything back in the days, and now you're not seeing that as much anymore. So as you see the men aging out, now you're seeing a rise of weakness in men. So this is something that I've been noticing a lot lately, and and I'm trying to bring a shine a light on some of it, and here I'm going to show you how we're being manipulated, because everything is a psychological thing. Everything today in the world is psychological. That's how we've uh, come to treat each other. We've come to treat each other where we try to figure out how to manipulate each other using slight urges, slight nudging, and it's usually psychologically done. You get into arguments with people try to bring you over to their side. They want you to understand things the way they want you to, even though they might be absolutely wrong about their opinions, but they're still going to try to get you to see. Even if they don't get you to agree, they're going to try to get you to see what they or understand their point of view. And that is a psychological nudge, because as long as you have their point of view in your mind, and you can subscribe to it at some level, it can sway the way you think. So I think, like I was saying, that everything that we see with this SJW thing is a war of attrition. And the war of attrition is something like you can, like I said, three ways that you can win a war. You can blitz out and all out attack and wipe them out. You can have a battle to where somebody doesn't want to fight, so they give up. And then you have like battles that's a war of attrition, where you might fight for years and just trying to wear them down, or you block off their access to supplies or resources so that they are starved out or not getting their full accounted for what they're looking for. and and that's what you call a war of attrition. If you can outlast them, trying to outlast them. It's not an all-out blitz, and sometimes it can be a war, can be a psychological war. That's what something like what the Cold War is like, and that's what I think is going on with this war of attrition. You see these SJWs are pushing all of this social justice stuff in everything. It's not just them, it's the corporations that's backing them. Because with all of this stuff in the media, this is corporate, and you can also say governmental, because the corporate and governmental work hand in hand, because you know that women's the women's movement is of women are fighting for some kind of equity, and and what they're wanting is for people to basically give them something without the effort and what they're working, because they say that they deserve it, and from what it looks like, they're looking for something for nothing. And damn, my mouth is parched. Okay, so in many ways. I'm not saying those who deserve what they've worked for, but a lot of women today seem to be working for something to be given to them. And over time, you've seen our children are being coming up weaker and weaker with more and more mental issues and everything, mental and obsessive compulsions and all kinds of things. So then you see a complaint against these weaker people. They don't want to be with these weaker type of men. And then the women, because men, fathers help to guide children. They keep, the saying is out there, they keep women, young women off of the poles and young men out of prison. So these weaker men and women are coming up with weaker mindsets. And that's what this war of attrition is going to allow for weaker people to be more easily manipulated psychologically. Because if you're not a psychologically sound individual, then you are subject to psychological bombardment. And you're being psychologically attacked all the time. There's commercials that's always trying to tell you what to buy. There's TV and movies who are always basically in the storytelling trying to tell you what type of person to be. They try to tell you and show you who's good and who's bad. So psychologically, you're always being taught. From school, church, everything is psychologically telling you how to act, who you should be, and who you should not be. And nowadays, this women's movement is a war of attrition telling you that you have to be this type of man and make allowances for this type of woman. So I believe that everything that we're seeing today, except especially with this TV and movie things, is a war of attrition. We used to see strong imagery in movies. Now we're seeing a lot more weak imagery in movies. So before they were telling men to be strong, and women took it that they were telling women to be demure and stayed in the corner, even though you had strong women fighting fights in movies. Even Princess Leia and um well, there's a lot of movies, Coffee and other movies like that from back in the 70s. And I've always seen movies with strong imagery of women and men. So we've had a shift nowadays where the war of attrition, I believe they know that they was never intent. The gender war was never meant to be won outright. What I believe is happening is they've bombarded us with so much of this drastic, over the top imagery and depictions, is that now we're so tired of seeing it. When they let ease up, they're still going to be able to give you weak depictions, weak ideologies. But as long as people are getting the action and stuff like you see in a lot of movies today, they're still going to be able to insult you on the down low. They're still going to be able to insult you on the DL while saying in the background, just like they say in this Batman movie. I've seen a review where um, I think his name is Ryan Cannell or something like that. He said that and I've seen that a lot, and I'm a black man, so that if I'm saying I notice I know I'm going to get those types of comments that say that I hate myself, but I've seen it's all men. It's not just white men, but they're doing it a lot with white men and black men. But they should have these weak imagery of, or all white men is bad and all other nationalities, especially black ones now, are good, or the imagery of good. And I and as long as they got the explosions and all of the other stuff that they put, they that act that people want to see, people are gonna allow for that bad imagery, because we're tired of seeing all of this bad imagery all of this time. Now when they ease up, we're still gonna get low key insults, but we're going to be more accepting of it because we just want to be entertained. And that's what's happening right now. I believe that in movies like Batman, Dune, or The Batman and Dune, we're still seeing these extremely skinny, frail men, and that's that war of attrition. If you win, if you gain ground, you still win. If you gain ground in a situation, then you still win. So that's what I believe this war of attrition is. I believe that they're going to ease up with the bad imagery in movies and TV, but they're still going to insult you on the down low, because just as long as they keep, because they've hit you with so much bad stuff for so many years. When they ease up on it, you're gonna be more accepting of the bad imagery, because these people can't tell a quality story. Okay. All right. Now I'm here tonight also. We have we don't believe in telling quality stories. I mean, not we don't believe that's definitely not what I'm trying to put out there. Ooh, yeah, over here at I'm my Strasse the Sex, you're gonna come to know me as Jay DeLille. That's my name, my artist name that's gonna be on all my art for Mike the Graphic Novel. See, with here, we believe in telling high quality stories and making sure that you're gonna get the things that you want to get over here at I'm my Strasse the Sex, or I am Goddamn Comics, because that's my kind of shorthand. This is my shorthand for both of my channels. You see right down here is this is an I am, that's I Monstrosities X, that's this channel. Goddamn Comics, that's my other channel, production. I am Goddamn Comics production. That's both channels. I am Goddamn Comics. This is an I am Goddamn Comics production. So we here to promote Mike the Graphic Novel. And you see, before I came on here, I was doing a little drawing. I'm still working on this sucker, trying to get the sucker ready for. I'm all over the places. And that's the problem. Let me. Uh, I was designing a character here. I shouldn't be showing you this, but this is character I've been working on, trying to get her right. Some of the other characters in here, but just doing my thing, trying to get things together, drawing some, working out some ideas. So Yeah, this is one I've been working on lately. I started it a while back, but we're gonna be bringing you so many great characters, man. You're gonna love these characters. Wait until they. If you don't like what I'm gonna be bringing you in my world, in Mike's the he's going to be. We're gonna introduce you to so many great characters that's going to bring you. Okay, where is it? Going to bring you some very. Yeah, this is too light. What happened? All right, something's wrong. Oh, there it is. There it is. I messed it up. That's what I wanted to do. All right. See, I needed to see. I needed to be able to see some things and other things I didn't want to see. So I had to lighten it up. I took some of that opaqueness off. So anyway, Mike the graphic novel is going to be showing you. This isn't Mike, but we don't know when this guy's going to be coming up. You don't know when this guy's going to be coming out, and he's going to be ready to kick ass. I'm just my mind is all over the place. I got so many characters, and we really are trying to uh get them all designed and well, when a design or an idea pops into my head, I have to put it down. So I'll start it just so that I'll get an idea, and then as more as I get more of a vision of it, I'll come back and I'll touch it up until because right now I'm trying to write 3, 4 stories, 5 stories, 6 stories. Tell you the truth, altogether, it's about 6 or 7 stories that I'm trying to write all at once. And then there's Might, there's there's Might, there's Cameo, there's Everman, there's my Nebula character. That's 4 stories. Then inside of Might, there's Mega, there's Cube to the first, Cube to the second power. There's uh that they having their own individual stories, and then their individual, like the Illuminati character groups, the groups, Illuminati groups. I have to write their timeline and certain aspects out. Then there's back history that I have to finish, and then there's other characters that I've been working on, and other stories that I have in mind that are up and comers that's going to be coming entering the scene very soon. As far as the Might story or the book is concerned, there's going to be other characters coming that will that need to be flushed out before, because the second book, I have to know where the story is going in order to keep it in line. At least that's what I think. Like I said, this is new. This is kind of new for me. I've never done this professionally, so a lot of what I'm doing is making sure that I have everything right. And that's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to make sure that I get everything right. So yeah, I'm excuse me. Yeah, so night is going to be a special thing for me and for you guys. I I want to be able to bring y'all a great story and everything, and I don't want to have any. I thought when I first started making when I started this, when I first decided that I was going to create characters and make stories, I said, because I would watch TV and programs, and I would see a lot of weak people or characters that did stupid things, utterly stupid things. And I said to myself, I didn't want to have those types of characters and weak bitch made characters and weak bitch ass uh individuals doing stupid bitch ass things. And I've noticed that that goes on a lot. There are a lot of people, I'm talking about in real life, as I've come up and met people and jobs and stuff like that, there are a lot of stupid individuals out there. So I started saying to myself, I can't start making, you can't, stories have to be based in some kind of reality. So having something based, you have to have some kind of basis in reality. Everything can't be all fluff and goodness. So I realized that I have to have develop some stupid and idiotic characters. I have to have even some quality characters do stupid things. They're just the nature of man, because society isn't, even the wilderness, in the wilderness you do something stupid, it costs you your life. You're having fun, or you're doing something that you are just trying to entertain yourself for a moment, for a quick moment, and something sees you not being aware and takes advantage, and you wind up getting killed or hurt. So that's what happens. uh that's what I needed to know, to realize when I'm in my writing, that you have to be able to put all kinds of characters in your stories. So this stream is about Bitch Made America, and Bitch Made America means that moisture. It's about weakness, weak people. We're gonna have weak people in might, but they're gonna be in there for story purposes, like how Game of Thrones. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not going to have gay people in my book, but Game of Thrones had gay people in their story. And I was wondering why they had so much of the gay stuff in the story. And it turned out that it was a indirect correlation with the outcome, because the gay guys really had a major part in wiping out an entire part of Westeros. So if I have stories with stupid people, or any people that I don't really have a complete grasp on, like gay or whatever like that, I want it to have some kind of significance. I don't want people to be in my books that are just there, just so that I can signal, hey, I got gay people, or I got somebody who's disabled. Or, no, I want them to be there because they serve a purpose. They need to drive the story. Everything that that I put in there has to be able to drive the story in some kind of way. So moisture, bitch madeness, all of this bitch assness. That's what this stream is about. Having weakness, uh, controlling people. So the humidity is high. We've got the humidity is high today in this stream, because we're gonna have a lot of bitch ass, bitch made individuals stuff talking about here. So Speaking of gay, I've been noticing a lot of, I would say, gay act. Well, I've said earlier that everything is psychological. So to me, I've noticed the shift because again, I'm an older dude. I'm in my late 50s, so I was there when hip hop first started. Get this. Yeah. I was there when hip hop first started, right? I was there when hip hop first started. And when hip hop first started, it was like an underground movement. It was something. Oh, this isn't you got hold on back. Let me get back up in here. Let me take this down. When hip hop first started, it was like a blast that came out of nowhere, right? Came out of hit the scenes, and now we had that other thing because the humidity is high here. That means you're gonna have a lot of moisture, a lot of weak, weak people out there. So be prepared, people. All right. So we've had a lot of hip hop first came on the scene. It was a blast from the past. It jumped on the scene. Well, it wasn't a blast from the past. It was a new idea that hit the scene and 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 hit the ground running, and it took off. Especially in black neighborhoods, we was all over it. Everybody's getting turntables and moving into writing songs and lyrics and all of that. So I was more of a singer. I like singing more. So my parts was more of the singing side, especially when we started getting the blending of hip hop and R&B. So back then the style, we've always had a style. Black folks has always brought our own style. And we had uh, loose fitting clothing, but back then it wasn't loose fitting as loose as it got in the 90s or the early 2000s, but we had a loose fitting clothing. We wore loose fitting even when it got kind of tight. It wasn't super tight. Well, some guys wore them super tight, not everybody. But nowadays, so when we went to, speaking of the loose fitting gear, I remember I never really liked the loose fit until the really baggy look. I liked them loose fitting, but I didn't want it hanging off my behind and all of that because I like the loose stuff because it in the winter that help kept the cold off of you. If you got tight clothes on, the cold is hitting your clothing and transferring directly to your skin. So tight clothes don't allow to keep a pocket of air, warm air inside to keep you warm. So I liked having layers in the cold. I'd have like sweatpants underneath, which would keep a pocket of air inside, and then another pair of pants on the outside, which would also keep a pocket because if you're wearing baggy clothes or loose fitting clothes, you got a pocket of air between each layer. So that's why I like loose fitting clothes. Not only that, so I could put things. You can put things in your pockets and they don't really show. You can put things in your waist and they don't really show. Like when I went to parties, I could stash me a bottle in my waistband. Stash me a bottle of Henny. So we've always had our own style, and and I we we've been we've been we've been having this. We've had loose fitting clothes, and it's well, except for the girls. Well, the girls wore loose fitting clothes too, and I'm just here to say that we need to stop wearing. Men need to stop wearing skinny jeans. You just need to stop wearing them because it's gay gear. Look at it. I know that for some reason it seems like black men are looking to embrace gay culture because ever since back in the day with the Afro puffs, and you seen Afro puffs, hold on, Afro puffs on women, and then you seen the Afro puffs on men. Ever since then, I never subscribed to this. I never wore no Afro puffs. I never put no braids in my hair. I never did that. Some of them I don't mind, but these pigtails and ponytail looks, this stuff right here, no. I never subscribed to that, man. There are hairstyles you can't go messing around with. Men need to stop some of this. Some of this stuff you just gotta, the men with bangs. So ever since back then, when I saw men started doing that, and then men started wearing tighter pants, I was like, something's wrong, man. Too many men are prescribing to this women's gear stuff, and I'm telling you that that's gay gear. This is gay gear. If you want, you're gonna. It's been around since the 70s. 70s, men have been wearing tight fitting clothes. Look at this. Men have been wearing tight fitting clothes since the 70s. So if you're going, look at the tight clothes, look at the, that's what gay gear was. It's always been this way. It's always been this way. And so the black man, especially because black man, he started the style. We had our baggy clothes, and everybody joined in and followed. So I'm saying, why are we following women and gay gear now? We the skinny jeans thing is not for men. It's not for men. You're not supposed to be dressing and showing off your backside for everybody. That's what women supposed to do. Women are supposed to be the pretty ones. This is looks nasty on women, on men. You showing everything. You don't have no place to put things. This is ridiculous. And if you're a bony individual, you're showing your weaknesses. A strong man's gonna look at you, and at least if you got some kind of loose fitting clothes, you can't really tell if you're just a lean individual. You might have some musculature on there. That's one of the psychological things that I agree with not doing. I don't agree with showing off everything. I like when people misjudge, because if they don't understand what they're dealing with, it's more less likely that they'll mess with you. But if you show everything, this is psychological out here. So I don't agree with going from baggy, loose fitting clothes to this gay gear look, because it's not helping you at all, man. Truly, all you doing is representing feminine traits. Why do men have to be jumping on with feminine traits? Because you were raised by single women who put this feminine ideal into your head. You're going from being roughnecks and tough guys to and doing pounds and daps with one arm in, to now you wearing tight ass clothes and hugging, dick to dick hugging. So when does it stop? You doing dick to dick hugging. When does it stop? You know? So I believe that we got to get off of this bitch madeness. You're not women. Be a man. Wear some decent looking clothes. You're supposed to have a line, man. And y'all are crossing it. Y'all are crossing it. Y'all are becoming, because what's next with the hugging and the tight ass clothes, you're gonna be kissing. It's gonna be full out. How you doing, man? Give you some dap and big kiss on the lips. That's what's coming for men. Because y'all are embracing this gay and this feminine, this LGB, the alphabets. Y'all are y'all are absolutely embracing the alphabets. Y'all are embracing the alphabets, and that's what you got to stop. I'm not saying don't I'm not saying be bigoted against them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't have to be them. Why does everybody? Why can't people be individuals? You're pushing towards something that we don't really want, and you're not gonna enjoy it, and you're gonna realize it too late. So stop while you can. Yeah, so whew, okay. I think this is time to not stop. Cause we can do a little promoting. Okay. How about we go to CG Tracker and track a couple of things? Okay. Okay, let's go to CG Tracker and track some things, because we're here to promote comic books, especially Mike the graphic novel. Because Mike the graphic novel is coming. I'm trying to get my all of my art ready for I'm trying to get all my art ready for my sign up page, and then I'm going to put up more art uh, before the launch. But I'm trying to get the cover up. My coloring is a little off. I'm trying to get that tightened up, but I'm going to get that up, and then we'll see, people. So let's go to CG Tracker. No, no. Let's go to CG Tracker. CG Tracker. CG Tracker. CG Tracker. Yeah, buddy. So we're going to be sharing this, and we're going to check out CG Tracker. And I believe that we should promote some of these books. We got Ethan Escava leading the pack as always, and he's promoting what's and all. I don't think he needs so much help from he doesn't need help from me, but we will promote him. So he's got his dolls or the toys. He's got the action figures. Sorry about that. Because I don't use that term dolls with my stuff, so I won't use it with his action figures. Men don't play with dolls. They're action figures. So you have the action figures selling pretty good, more than $500,000. Almost if you hit that six. You got Wreck Planet over $1 million. Rainbow the Brute almost there. Oh, almost there. So let's see. Blade Devil. I think that's what's his name? Yeah. That's an old book. Let's see if we can find some good. Godlike is out. Glorious Rex. Promoting Glorious Rex with Shane Davis. Okay. Black Flag. Oni. Let me see if we get some of these lower. There's some new books that's come out. Let me see. Arcathena book 2 is out. Or it's going to be soon, if I think. U.S. Assassin. Graveyard Shift. Let's see what we're going to promote. Ultra Star. Let's see. Ultra Star is doing well. Oh, he closed it out. Okay. I didn't realize that. Okay. Man, I have to start checking this before I come in here because you have a lot. CG Tracker has all of this of the Comicsgate books. Here we got Narwhal with Nosferatu. Here we go. Nosferatu. He's doing well. What's this? What can we? No, don't use my shit for nothing. Okay. Nosferatu by Narwhal. Per Berg. He's doing well. Jonathan Harker is called away on business in the castle of Count Orlok. This is Nosferatu, the original character, the original vampire from back in the days. Narwhal has his own style, his own techniques, and shows off a great imagery and story. I got to make sure to check out and do some of this wide angle stuff in my books. I notice how he talks about wide angles and stuff like that in some of his stuff. Getting those wide angles and stuff like that. Woohoo! She got the new titty. New titty. He got some crazy imagery. Look at that. He definitely got some imagery going. He has his own style, that's for sure. You could call it an anime, but I wouldn't call it an anime style. But it does have something like this. This cover has like here in the face, has a little bit of has a slight touch of an anime style, but he's definitely his own. I seen a style like this in some commercial. I wonder if he did a commercial back in the day because I've definitely seen this style before. I'm definitely gonna see. This is sort of something like what I'm doing, but I'm using a lot more darks. I'm gonna try to clean mines up a little bit. But yeah, this all looks great, man. I uh, get in and check out some narwhal. Oh, I didn't. Hold on. Let me stop sharing and I'll come right back to it. Come right back to it because I didn't share the audio. So we'll share the audio so we can do this. Damn, that shit was deep. Narwhal is fucking the man. He does his own fucking videos. Damn, that's the shit. That's the shit right there. Wow, that was great. Really, that was great. I'm telling you, getting the Narwhal book, that was great. So yeah, yeah. Okay, so woo, what we got next? Do 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 do. Okay, what we got next is we've got this thing here we calling Bitch Made America. Bitch Made America is Bitch Made America is the promotion of weakness, and we're seeing that a lot in TV and movies. So we got. I've been. I didn't. I did uh, video called live stream called Frail Males, and where they're promoting all these really skinny, delicate men, and I've been seeing it a lot more lately. There are uh, a lot of depictions of these extremely frail men in movies. This is the Batman. Now I don't know if it's a good movie or not. I don't plan on seeing it because I really am trying to avoid these types of TV shows and movies. Now, look at his neck. Look at his neck. This guy is supposed to have spent, he looks like he's in his late 30s, early 40s. And this is Bruce Wayne, and he's supposed to look like a man he's supposed to be a man who spent his life showing he supposedly has spent his life getting strong, training to get revenge for the death of his family, right? And we see this guy, he's this gaunt, extremely frail looking man he looks more like a goth dude, and that's a feminine thing. And they seem to be promoting this type of this frail look, this skinny bitch made attitude. And look how gaunt and bony he is. And you're gonna want me to believe this extremely frail looking, skinny, gaunt individual has spent his life training his body to take on multiple attacks from different people at a time, martial arts of all sorts that he spent his life. This dude has no neck. He barely can hold his head up. And I just don't believe that this is the types of depictions that we need to be seeing. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that the movie's bad, but if everything is psychological, and if you're going to be watching movies like that, they're trying to get you accustomed to thinking of that being strong is this skinny, delicate individual. This is what they're pushing. Subconsciously, what back in the day we used to call that subliminal suggestion. And that's what this is. It's subliminally telling you don't need to be this muscular individual and you can still kick butt. You can still be a badass. And I'm telling you, this is all fantasy. This is fantasy. And when is life? In life, you're going to take this frail male ideology out into the world, and you're going to be crying because it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because frail men are not do not save the world from anything. They don't. And that's what they're pushing. This frail male ideology. And we see it in the Batman. We've seen it in this Dune, where you have these extremely frail men being the heroes. And if this keeps up, you're going to see men like Jason Momoa disappear from the movie industry, movie and TV industries. And all you're going to see is these delicate little men trying to play tough guy. You already see it in TV shows like Good Girls, where the bad guy is this extremely skinny dude. You see it in TV shows like Ozark, where the men are these delicate, soft-spoken, frail-looking men. You've seen it in all of these shows. There's another TV show called Travelers on Netflix that has these extremely emaciated, frail-looking men, and that's what's coming. They're going to give you action to keep you watching, but they're gonna subliminally hit you with these psychological warfare to get you to believe that you don't need to eat meat. You don't need to work out. You don't need to be a strong individual. You could be a delicate, frail individual like this, a frail male, and you'll be able to still succeed in life. You won't have to worry about it. But the problem with this is that there's still going to be men out in the streets. There's still going to be strong men out in the streets. So if you want to believe that that this is the way to go because you don't need men, the ill that we've been suffering with restrictions and mandates for the last 2 years, if you think that didn't show the world that you do need to be strong, because you had all of these wackos out here, you never know when one of them is going to jump out. And this whole gender identity thing hasn't brought out a whole bunch of bigotry and hatred that you don't need strong men in the world to defend you from. I'm sure you don't want no police like this. You want a policeman who looks like this. You don't want these frail men defending you because they can't. You want someone like this defending you in the military, in the police, in the fire departments. So we need to stop pushing this, because this doesn't get you anywhere. These individuals usually have weak mentalities. Frail males have weak mentalities. And if we're going to be pushing bitch-madeness, it's not going to help you, because even bitch-made men are stronger than women. And we see it all the time. So I'm just saying, let's not do this anymore. Let's not do this anymore. This is all right. Yeah. Yeah, so we've got a lot of bitch-made things going on in the world today, and I'm sorry to tell you guys that it's being promoted by women and your government and the corporations around you. Women and men have had a certain type of relationship for thousands of years, and now that idea is being pushed into something else. Well, I hope this is the right thing. None of these look long enough. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, people. So, yeah. We've been talking about Bitch-Made America, And I've been showing y'all how we don't want to be dealing with these frail men and the ideology of weakness. They've been pushing weakness on us for a good few years now, because this whole gender identity and skinny jeans, all of the clothing that we wear, all of this is pushing us towards femininity. All of that is a psychological warfare. Everything is psychological that you see in the world today anyway. From the TV shows, the movies, everything is hitting you with some kind of ideology. It's always been that way. It's a societal norm type of thing that even Arnold Schwarzenegger promoted a societal norm. Good versus evil, strong, uh, good versus evil, and the strong survives type of thing. And so, in commercials, they want to sell you stuff, so they want you to believe that the products is a certain thing, even though the products are absolute garbage. Uh, so everything is psychological. Everything is meant to sway your opinions, uh, and and that's what I believe a lot of things are. Uh, Matter of fact, let's talk about something else. Whatever happened to respect? Respect in the world. Whatever happened to respect? Respect in the world has gone out the window. Have you noticed that you don't even they don't want you to use the term Mr., Mrs. And now when you get phone calls from people at trying to sell you shit, they call you by your first name, even though you don't know this person from Adam. You get a phone call, somebody says hi, and they use your may I speak to such and such, and they use the first name. And you to me, back in the days when somebody called you, they said, "Hello, may I speak to Mrs. That, Mister That, or Miss, or whatever." And that's a sign that of respect, because they're calling your home, they know they're interrupting you, and they want to show you respect and courtesy to say, "Hey, I'm going to be taking using some of your time to try to sell you something, or to deal with you, or to get money out of you in some way, maybe a creditor or whatever." And so this new gender war has turned things around where they're trying to get rid of the gender. So now they got people calling your house, calling you by your first name. That's psychological in two ways. One, to is no show you no respect, because if they respected you, they wouldn't see. Well, let's take that back. It's a psychological thing at first, because it's for somebody to try to sell you something, or to, if it's a creditor, try to get something from you, they're basically trying to represent themselves as a friend of yours, because usually only people's friends call them by their first name, people who know you. So when companies have their telemarketers and their creditors call credit whoever, telephone people calling you, they're trying to find a way in. So they psychologically, when they call you by your first name, or they use their first name, your assumption is psychologically, this is someone you know. This is someone familiar to you, so, or friendly to you, so you kind of let your guard down slightly. So when back in the day, when you hear somebody say, "Hey, this is Mister That, Mister," you know, okay, it's somebody selling me something. You know you on your guard, and you go, okay, until they hit you with the reason for the call. And if it's something important, then you take it. If it's just somebody who's on the line to sell you shit, or a creditor, you tell them to kick rocks. But today, they come in and they say, "Hey, what's going on? May I speak to Timothy, or Timmy?" And right away your guard slightly lowers and you're ready to be more accepting to what they're going to push on you. And that is the facts. It's a psychological tactic. And businesses, big businesses, they use psychology in most professions today. Psychology is used. Police, lawyering, politics, any big business, they use politics. They use psychology and advertisement. They use psychology in order to manipulate you so that you do what they want you to do, or even how supermarkets are set up. They're set up to put things right in your face that they want you to buy, and the things that they know you need to buy, they put that in more difficult sections so that you have to walk past all of the shit that you don't really need to buy or want to buy, but their impulse. That's why you got a lot of shit right by the register, because those are impulse purchases. So that's psychological warfare against you. And that's what we're seeing here today. And everything is psychological. So when they do these things, they tell you, they come in and with no respect. They're showing you disrespect. They're showing you, because society as a whole has gotten weaker, mentally weaker. The school systems are failing the children. The um people are taking in all of this gender neutrality crap, and all of these things are to throw you off. And as it's throwing you off and you're changing how you think, it makes you more susceptible to being taken advantage of, because you're falling into a position of weakness, because you're now being accepting to weak ideology. Most people that have dealings with, now I'm not trying to put down anyone, because whoever you are, that's who you are. If that's what you feel you are, that's on you. But when you start pushing that ideology on someone else, and other people start accepting it, then they subscribe to that weakness. And that's why you didn't promote these things back in the day. Certain things weren't promoted because it promotes weakness. A delicate man is weak. I don't care how you want to look at it. A delicate man is weak. He can't protect himself. He can't protect anybody else. He can't protect his family. It'll take the seconds that he would take for that individual to wonder about what he wants to do, or to think about his fear. That is seconds that can be used to defend himself or to get the jump on an individual who's coming at you. So respect is the beginning. You have a certain amount of firewalls in reality. Now, not on your computer. You have certain amount of firewalls in reality to defend against outsiders. And respect is one of the first ones. So when people don't use Mr., Mrs., or Sir, these types of things, that's what happens. You get these, you're leaving yourself open towards a weakness. You're letting yourself, your mind, become weak in a way that you become susceptible towards other people. And that's why I'm saying keep people showing you respect. Don't fall victim to the new age of thinking. Make sure people call your home. If they're selling you something, make sure they call you Mr. and you'll use your last name. Don't let them call you by your first name. People who don't know you, it's always make sure they address you as Mr. or Mrs., because that is a sign of respect. It's one of your first signs, it's one of your first firewalls against outsiders uh, uh, treating you poorly. If they show you respect right out the gate, that's how men know that they have to treat each other with a certain amount of respect, because they know that if they say something wrong, it can devolve very quickly into a battle. So using respect like sir, Mr., Mrs., these types of terms helps keep that respect level high. But if you're treating everybody like they're insignificant or a buddy of yours, even though they're not, it can fall to where you say something out of line. So that's why I say we need to stop. We need to show each other respect. We need to keep our level of respect up. I don't care who you are, if you're weak or if you're strong, mentally or physically, whatever it is, you gain more power by showing people respect and making sure people treat you with respect. If you choose not to, then you're telling people, no matter how you think of it, you're telling people you can treat me however you want. So make sure that people treat you with respect. That's all I'm trying to say, people. Because I'm telling you, when people we're falling into a culture of weakness. We used to we used to hold up a mirror to people. Now people are saying, "Fuck that mirror." We have these ideas of having individual truths, like there isn't a reality that governs everything. Everybody has their individual truth, and as long as you have that individual truth and it's your truth, you're right. No, you could be wrong as fuck. I don't care what truth that you claiming to have, you can still be wrong as fuck. And that's why all of these different ideologies that people are starting to bring out, this is all bitch made America. We are making America weak with the things that we're doing. And the ideologies that we are willing to subscribe to. We see things that are happening, and what's going on with these with the new way of thinking is that everybody America is going down. What is it, like 0.5% of the population? 0.5% of the population are alphabets or transsexual or something like that, or these alternate thinking individuals. And so now we are asking 99% of America to not only forego what you were raised to believe, but to bring this new ideology into your life for point 0.5 to, okay, say it's 1%. 1% of the population, we have to start bowing down, go down to their level. We're not bringing them up. Society was intended to bring up. It was supposed to be something to help bring up people who are on the lower side of things and bring them up, help to keep them up and lift them up to the standards of the others. But in today's society, it asks for everyone to go down to the level of the what did he call them? The marginalized. Hold on. It's asking you or everyone, the stronger people of the society, to lower themselves to the standards of the bullied. So you should lower yourself to the weakness of the bullied so that the bullied don't feel threatened. We need to create a safe space. That's why they want to lower men's testosterone. They want to get rid of meat. They want to get rid of exercising. They want to get rid of all of these things. You notice during the illy ill, mandemic, because that's what it was. It was man-made in every way. The reaction to it was man-made. The I should do a part in this, but the reaction to it was man-made. Everything about it, the illy ill, these last 2 years was man-made. Eh, The pushing of the vaccine for the sake of getting money in the big pharma's pockets, all of these things were something that they were counting on. And not only that, here's something else that we should do. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this again. Look at the illy ill, right? The last 2 years, we have been, the government and corporations and everyone, people online, Twitter, have been losing their minds over the illy ill, right? They've been telling everyone to get these vaccinations, and now all of a sudden they didn't reach herd immunity, but they all of a sudden they're relaxing all the restrictions because of politics. They the this is one of the years that's coming up for the, what is it, midterm elections and all of that, and so they don't want to be seen as pushing anything that the public doesn't want. But they were willing to force people into major debt, people losing their homes, all for the same reasons. And we don't know. Now, the thing that I've been wondering about is, why did all of this shit happen all at the same time? Look at it. You have this whole women's movement that jumped off all at the same time, right? All with this the elections 2020, right? This whole thing jumped off. Then all of the bombardment with the gender shit. Then the vaccinations all happening at the same time. All at the same time, China and Russia is building up, right? The Reds, they're building up to what's happening now. And it's all happening at the same time, all while they're bombarding you with all kinds of crazy ideologies. So, if, is it a divide and conquer? Have you thinking so many things that you can't concentrate on one thing at a time, while different sections of society is infiltrating and making moves? Look at it for yourself, because I don't know. I'm just saying, how does it look? Why did it all happen at the same time? It all was happening at once. You have Fauci claiming to promote, to working over there with the what what I don't know, what the Pacific. I don't know what to call it, because if you say something wrong, they can strike your channel. So the Pacific, they over there working. Fauci's over there working with the Pacific to bring about some new thing that nobody knew about, and all at the same time, the government is telling you, get jab, putting trillions of dollars to the pockets of big pharma. Then they're telling you can't say anything, and all of the corporations is telling you can't speak this way. You can't say this, you can't say that, you can't say this. Otherwise, they get, so that's hand in hand, the government and the corporations working together to accomplish their thing. And all at the same time, corporations are putting out all kinds of ideology. So your brain is thinking about war, sickness, vaccinations, your children. All of this is some major event, all at the same time. It's all garbage. There's no major, nothing happening. Nothing major is happening. it's been proven that this shit ain't killed nobody. No, really hasn't killed any more than the any other illness has killed, like the flu or pneumonia. So why the big push? You're being bombarded from every different direction, and no one is stopping it. But you're being told that you should become weaker. You should stay at home. They don't want you in the gym. They don't want you doing this. And now we hear about this. Watch this, people, because I do believe, yeah, this is it. I do believe that this is going to wake people up, because this is coming. This is a reality. Okay, we're going to hit this. Come in, Shimon Craig. Here we go.
So, picture your life in a place where everything you do, what you buy, how you behave, is tracked. The government gives you a score, and the score is a measure of how trustworthy you are as a citizen and determines what you're allowed to do, like ever. Boarding a train, getting a mortgage, all goes back to this score. It's called social credit. It sounds like that show Black Mirror, but it's actually happening in China. So how does that change you? Does it change you? What does your life look like when you're ever...
Now remember, nobody's got to say anything against China, because America and the corporations are all chasing this money. They're all chasing red money, the red dollar. So remember, they'll, with the Star Wars movies, nobody said anything against the bigotry shown with the Star Wars posters and keeping black people hidden in the background. So, or with the Uyghurs, nobody says anything against that. So now you see this happening. And where did it come from? Where did the ill come from? It started over here. So I'm just saying, think about it.
Every move is watched. The system's eyes are in big data, artificial intelligence.
The artificial intelligence and facial recognition. They got so many cameras. It's ridiculous.
When your every move is watched. The system's eyes are in big data, artificial intelligence, and roughly 200 million surveillance cameras.
200 million.
And that's totally fine with Oyoung Hao-yu. She's 21, graduated from a good school with solid grades.
The weaker sect. The weaker sect don't care. So they don't mind giving away your power, your freedoms, for them to feel safe. 200,000.
She's diligent. She's nice.
Stop. Are you trying to make money from home in 2022? Well,
How do we get past this? Okay.
forget about selling physical products that you do with Amazon FBA.
No surprise. She's a 752. That's her rating with Sesame Credit, a private company working with the government on the algorithms for the social credit system. The scores go from 350 to 950 and are based on habits and behavior. Buy clothes or diapers, it's good. A lot of alcohol, too many video games, not so good.
Really? Alcohol and video games. You can't play too many alcohol. You can't drink too much alcohol. And how much is too much? If you drink 2 beers, is that too much? If you have too many tequila chases, is that too much? and playing video games. If you traveling back and forth to work and you're playing video games, is that too much?
How Use 752 puts her in model citizen range and gets her discounts and privileges, like using a shared bike without a deposit. She likes it. Her friends do too. They all have pretty high scores.
It's a mechanism like pushes you to become a better citizen, to build on the trust, especially on the Chinese market.
Because you're not going to be punished if you haven't done anything wrong.
I think that's the point. I think the system.
What do you mean? The way that you talking about anything can get you punished. Your score's gonna go low if you don't do things the way they want you to do it.
System is working as a work.
They said drinking beer. Drinking alcohol and playing video games can lower your score. Can lower your score. If that can lower your score, almost anything can.
Or an alert to push people to do it, to be a good person.
They have to push you to be a good person. This isn't pushing you, it's forcing you. And it's not forcing you to be a good person. It's forcing you to obey their rules.
And it's mandatory. When it goes
Their rules, obeying their rules makes you a good person.
national, social credit scores will be assigned to every one of China's citizens for life. And what's weird is that so many people seem okay with it. It's complicated, but
That's what's weird. That so many people seem okay with it.
China went from extreme poverty to economic giant pretty quick. Weird is that so many people seem okay with it.
Sorry about that.
It's complicated, but China went from extreme poverty to economic giant pretty quickly. A credit history system didn't grow at the same pace, so people would default on loans and get away with it. Add in scandals around fake food, tainted baby milk, counterfeit goods, and what you've got is a big problem with trust. So, in 2014, the Communist Party called for a system to allow the trustworthy to roam everywhere under heaven, while making it hard for the discredited to take a single step. The model is a place called Rongcheng. It's in Shandong.
You heard what she said? The discredited is difficult to make a single step. So when your life gets ruined, it's ruined.
Province. It's orderly. Streets are spotless. Cars slow down, which is unheard of in China.
Unheard of. So that means you are so much not wanting to get your credit bad that it's unheard of to slow down. But now people are stopping. That's crazy to me.
Words like honesty and credibility appear on propaganda posters. Display cases show pictures of Rongcheng's most honored citizens.
Wow.
You start with 1,000 points, and you can print out your report anytime. You lose points for things like jaywalking, littering, tossing cigarette butts, or spreading rumors.
Wow.
Cameras do
Spreading rumors. Wow.
a lot of the surveillance work, but it's pretty analog too. Like
So every aspect of your behavior, every aspect of your behavior is being watched. And you don't think that there's anything wrong with this. Every aspect of your life is being watched. Every single aspect of your life is being watched, and nobody has an issue with this. And this is what's going to be talked. This is what's going to be pushed here. They're already doing it on Twitter. You already got these psychos on Twitter that's doing the same thing. And you don't think that this shit is coming here? How do we know that this is all a setup for this? That the coup and the mandates and all of that wasn't just a test run for this shit.
posters that list the ways you can gain or lose points.
监控下的斑马线。
And each night, local TV shows the surveillance highlights of the day.
Then they fucking blowing you up on TV at nighttime on the news because they don't want to show you the news no more. They don't have that's we already see that here. They don't want to talk about the news no more. They really don't. They want to talk about politics and personal jabs and all of this stuff. So now the news is gonna be the internet. They're gonna be putting all your feelings on the internet, and they think you think that's they talk about people bullying people, but now the government is gonna be doing it. The government is gonna be doing it.
And then there's Joanne. She's an information collector, a paid enforcer who walks around and writes down deeds about her neighbors.
Is this what the SS did? Secret police? Is this what the SS did? But now they have an algorithm that can do it. They have algorithms and cameras and AI. And people are losing their fucking mind if they don't think that this is coming.
Things like this are good deeds, she said. But the farmer overheard swearing and being rude. Yeah, bad deeds.
You swear because you curse. So you can't curse. Listen, you telling me that people are gonna be feel good about themselves. You can't curse. Wow, let's listen to this again. I got to hear that. I got to hear that again.
But the farmer overheard swearing and being rude. Yeah, bad
Swearing and
deeds.
being rude.
Her quota is 10 a
Hold on. Now we see Karens. This is a Karen. This is an Asian Karen. These are the Asian Karen, and the Karens now can report you for swearing and being rude. If you pick your nose in public, if you scratch your butt in public, this Karen can dime you out and lower your scores. Let's hear what's going on there.
a month. She likes the work, thinks the city's better for it. The thing about the social credit system is that there isn't one single system, not yet. Different places have different rules.
Wow.
So what do you do if you have bad social credit?
He's got his feet. Hold on. He's got his feet on the side on the walls of the train. He should be reported because he's damaging the side of the train. He put his feet on the floor.
Like Twitter, there are forums for discredited people to vent and get advice.
Just like Twitter.
Yeah, I'm going to call it right now. I think I found the single biggest product that we have in 2021. It's this Google Chrome extension called...
In Chongqing, we hooked up with Huang Huijun. He had a business until he was sued by a client, and Huang refused to pay 90 grand to settle it. So the court put him on a social credit blacklist, and things got way worse.
Because he felt
Looked
he
like
didn't. Oh man! Because he felt he didn't deserve that treatment. He refused to pay, and they put him on a fucking blacklist. Ruined his life. No court.
blacklist, and things got way worse. Put him on a social credit blacklist. In Chongqing, we hooked up with Huang Huijun. He had a business until he was sued by a client, and Huang refused to pay 90 grand to settle it. So the court put him on a social credit blacklist, and things got way worse. He explains that being blacklisted means he can't buy airplane or train tickets. When he tries, a message pops up saying he's discredited. By the end of last year, blacklisted people were blocked from booking 23 million flights and 5 million high-speed train trips.
23 million. 23 million. 23 million. 23 million flights. They wasn't allowed. People could not fly. 23 million. Is that 20? Remember, there's like a billion people. Is that 23 million people? Because how many times are you going to try to catch a flight before you say, okay, they're not going to let me do it, so and just quit?
And the list goes on. Being discredited makes it hard to get a job, a loan, a hotel room, or put kids in certain schools.
So even your family, if you're discredited, your kids suffer. Because you can't put them in certain schools because you have been discredited. Because you decided, how is this? And you don't think that America, the way that they tried to push these mandates and all of this and ruining people's lives, putting people out of their homes. You see back in 2008, the mortgage scandal. You don't think that they would do this to us with Twitter and the way that the left is going these days? And I don't trust the right much either. I really don't trust neither side. I don't think either side is working towards our benefit.
Then there's the public shaming, photo galleries of blacklisted citizens. There's even an app that shows who around you is in debt. In China, being
now, our government supposedly promotes anti-bullying. How is this not the epitome of it? Where they plaster your face all over the website for anybody to pull up your name and see your credit and everything, what kind of debt you in.
monitored is nothing new. But algorithmic surveillance makes it possible to collect data to build detailed profiles of people, especially the ones not loyal to the government. Of all the video surveillance cameras, the ones not loyal to the government. Of all the makes it possible to collect data.
Metadata. That's that metadata. When you play video games, when you go online and they take all your cookies and they take all your information and sell it to other companies. How do you know that they're not selling your information to the government? How do you know they're not selling? Because the government is spending trillions of dollars of your money on all kinds of shit that you don't want nor need. And you don't know what the government is going to do with all of your data or what they're using it for, what the purpose, what they're building in order to put into action, in order to lock people down.
To build detailed profiles of people, especially the ones not loyal to the government. Of all the video surveillance cameras on the planet right now, nearly half of them are in China.
Half of the world's cameras are in China. Half. Not just that. What about the electricity? We talking about the environment and all of this stuff. But what does it take to push that type of technology? Along with Bitcoin and all of this stuff, they're fucking talking about driving pollution, and China's way big for that. Pollution through the roof.
People bothered by privacy concerns?
So we think the lot of camera keep the safety is really good things. A lot of people, we can accept it.
You see? They're counting on people's fear. Weak people. They're counting on you to be weak. Because when you're weak, you're afraid. And when you're afraid, you want somebody to protect you. And that's big papa government and big brother corporations. And that's what the feminist movement is dependent on. And that's what all week, the rise of the moist Reich. The rise of the moist Reich depends on weakness so that the government would step in, big papa government and big brother corporation will step in and save them.
And cameras are getting smarter. So the information that comes out from my image identifies that I'm female, middle age, talks about whether I'm wearing glasses, the shape of my face. AI is taking them next level. They can do more than just see. They actually understand who they're seeing. So at what point can the technology know too much? Does it already?
Most time, people don't care about it. But if the technology learns too much, for example, cross the red line, it's not very good.
How far off are we from needing to draw those red lines?
It's very hard to say. I think maybe decades, I mean 10 years or 20 years, 15 years.
He don't want to say, but these motherfuckers want to do it right now. There ain't no 10 years. These motherfuckers is ready to do this shit now.
Maybe.
That's not very long.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's coming.
And where does it all go?
All for the sake of money. It's all for the sake of money and power.
Hallyu isn't so bothered. Her Sesame score is high. Life is good and she's used to living most of it online. Soon, her education and medical records and any run-ins with the law will factor into her social credit score.
That's the only way you could be a good person. 100% of the time is by living online. 100% of the time. She lives her life online. She doesn't really do nothing. This is the future, and this is what they're trying to push us towards. Stay inside, avoid people, stay obsessive, compulsive, and mentally broken. Only live this way. Who needs a life? Who needs to love? Who needs anything? And you see that a lot. There's a lot of throwaway women. That's what trying to cause them. A lot of throwaway women over there. I think don't follow the wrong people, man.
And wherever she goes, someone will follow and ask, who can you trust?
Hey, NBC News.
Wow. Tell me that shit isn't next. Tell me that that's not coming next. I think we're in trouble, people. I think we're in trouble because if they pushing it in China, America's on the heels, man. America is on the heels. They don't want to be left behind. And they're kissing China backside we're kissing China's ass so that we can have access, and we're taking on the traits of the red countries, the authoritarianism that you see over there in Canada and Australia and countries like this, and the United States is pushing it too. I'm just saying, I like the United States. I believe it was the best country in the world, but I seen we selling ourselves out left and right. Corporations don't give a fuck about us. All they care about is their dollar. That's the next thing I'm going to be talking about, how we get nothing, that everybody wants something for nothing. And Americans don't see that. We don't care no more. We willing to pay for nothing. We keep throwing our money at these corporations who are giving us nothing in return. Why do we keep doing that? Because we think that these people care about us. None of them care about us. Not your government, not these corporations. All they care about is your dollar. And I'm also going to talk about how people are slaves. We ain't nothing but slaves, man. We still working for massa. That's coming next. That's coming next week. Next week we're gonna do a video. We're gonna do a live stream. We still working for massa. Because if you your salary only pays for shelter, food, and clothing, that's what That's what master had to provide to the slaves, isn't it right? He had to shelter them, he had to provide clothing, and he had to feed them. So if that's all you're able to provide for yourself, you still working for massa. If he's reaping all of the benefits, got all the plantation to himself, but the foremans who hunt your ass down if you go out and you do something wrong, or the that's just the police and the military. You do something wrong, and you look what they did to the truckers up there in Canada. You do something that they deem to be wrong, they freeze your bank accounts. They fuck you up so that you can't live. And this is supposed to be a democratic country. So what do you think that they're doing over here? When's the last time the Republicans or the Democrats done anything for us? Literally. And I'm not saying we should overthrow the government. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything like that. But we need to take control of this. And how do we do that? Getting rid of money. It's the only way to guarantee that this can't happen. Not for the world, for us. Just Americans. We would stop this influx of people coming into the country just by getting rid of money. We'll stop all the corruption and this fucking hierarchy that only rich people can make decisions for us. We would take back. We'd be able to bring back industry, and that would, and all of the money that would, and not only that, the dollar would go up in value, because if we don't use money in the United States, it's only good to purchase things out of country for us to produce things with, and for us to travel overseas with. Then inside the United States, we would work as a cohesive unit. We would have certain states producing certain products, and I know they say, hey, that's more slavery. No, you get everything for free. Education would be yours. You get, and everything would be set up on your schedule. America will make it up. The government would be nothing but a bookkeeping organization to make sure that this section gets this, that we working together and making sure that everything works cohesively. And then you would have your section who's the president, who deals with diplomacy and the military. But as far as making laws and all of that stuff and telling us how to live and all of that crap, no. Because there won't be any money, there won't be no lobbying, there won't be any, all of this stuff, all of the things that we depend on would still be able, because all we need is the people to do the work. And the work would go down because we wouldn't need as much work, because we would have the automation. We would be able to automate all of the jobs that we need automated. We would be able to concentrate on building getting rid of fossil fuels. We'll be able to build on renewables energy, because we won't be worrying about the money that it would take, because all it really takes is manpower. And if we work together like that, just look at if you don't believe that people believe that it's possible, just look at The Walking Dead. Now, there's no money being exchanged in that show, but they built the society and had the everybody working together to make sure the whole thing operated right. So what if the United States decided that? If we decided, because it's us, the people, if we said that we don't want to work for money, we'll just work for freedom. We won't work for money, we'll work for freedom. That means your home is yours. Nobody can come and take your home from you, ever. We'd be able to build, all of the financial institutions would go bye-bye. That means all of those big major buildings in the cities that deal with financial shit, they would go away, and all of those buildings could become residential homes. You could build huge co-ops and suites for people. Everybody would be able to live like they were living in a suite in the Waldorf Astoria or some shit like that. Some big expensive hotel where you have big spacious rooms and all of that. You don't have to have them huge monstrous rooms and stuff, but you would be able to live luxuriously, be comfortable, and you won't have to be worrying about suffering, tight corners, living in some swallow, whatever, some bullshit conditions. And that's what I don't understand. People are so accustomed. Last week on the Matrix Doctrine, I did the government and how the Constitution was made up. When it first started, we had like 3 or 4 different governments before it stuck. So why can't we start over and do something else? If it was just that easy for them to flip the script back then, how come we just can't say, yo, let's try something else? This shit ain't been working for a long time. But because they've already got it set, it was flawed on its surface. But they wrote amendments to supposedly correct the flaws. But if the foundation is fucked up or from the jump street, patching the foundation and patching it is not going to make the foundation any stronger. No, we should rebuild it from scratch with better materials. And that's what I'm saying. We need to, if we get rid of money and we start working, we bring back industries like textile, making our own clothing instead of depending on other countries. Instead of building, there's other ways of handling things. If people are going to be working from home more, then let them and bring industry back closer to home so we can walk to work. That way we don't have to worry about cars as much. We can get rid of this extra pollution and shit. You just have to think about what we're doing. Stop being greedy, because everything we do now has to do with greed instead of just living. And it's coming to a tipping point, because there's not enough jobs. The more they automate, the less people are going to be able to work. The less people are going to be able to find jobs. And if foreign countries are now becoming the ultimate powers in the world, then that's going to leave the United States, a third world country. We gotta have to jump on top of this before we get to there. We can't wait to fall into the toilet before you close the fucking toilet seat. You shut the toilet, put the toilet seat down. It's idiotic to think that people would wait and let the government let the government and corporations take over everything and do everything while we sit back and go, well, you got to do something for us. Well, that's just how it is, because that's what the average person does. But if we stepped up and said we don't want to work for money anymore, we only want to work for freedom, and you could come to this country, but you're gonna have to work for money, and you only gonna get jobs when there's nothing else left, when everybody else is working, and you won't be able to become a citizen of this country, period. Only maybe if you stay and you put your investment in like everybody else who's been here for generations, maybe your great grandchildren can become citizens. And that would help keep people from flooding our shores, and keep things for the people who've been here and put in the work. That's all I'm saying. We need to start thinking of life in a different way, because right now we're becoming a bitch-made America. We're becoming weaker than, we definitely not as strong as we were. We definitely, the United States had a strength that was undeniable. And now we are falling into the toilet, literally falling into the gutter, because we are letting corporations, major corporations, decide everything for us. And it's not working. They're doing it all. And we're sitting back and saying, hey, y'all should do this for us. Y'all should do this for us. And what are they telling you? They're telling you to kiss my behind. We're going to do what we want because we have the power. And we have the lobbyists. We've been made, our corporation has been made into citizens so that we have a vote. They're taking away from us. We don't, it's not of the people, for the people, by the people. It's for them, of them, by them. And we're just resting on a big fucking plantation. I don't know what to tell people no more, because I can't. I'm just one person. I'm just a little dude. There's nothing I could do by myself until people start taking some, grabbing their big little boy shorts and pulling them shits up as far as they can, and big boy shorts or whatever you want to call them. You got to stop fucking being pussy and get up and start being strong and say, yo, we don't want that no more. This is the way that it should be run. Y'all make the account. Every city can be responsible for different products, and then we ship them to other countries and sell them for other countries. We can undercut other countries because of that, doing it that way. That's what China's doing. They got all of those workers over there working for small salaries, producing cheap shit and selling it to the world. That's how they become as big as they are. I'm saying we should produce high quality shit, undercut the other, because we don't need the money. Everybody, imagine if everybody could get an education to be a doctor, a lawyer, whatever. Well, we wouldn't need lawyers. We need some, but we wouldn't need lawyers. We need people with that mindset to deal with foreigners, but we wouldn't really need that type of stuff. We would still keep the practice alive, of course. Like I said, we still to need to think highly. We need to stay on top of things, but if we got rid of a lot of that stuff, we'd be able to go to school and be whatever we want. And as you become older, you'd be able to move up and do things and be what you wanted to do, change jobs how you wanted to, when you wanted to, because we'd have a national database that, or a local database, but statewide. And like I said, these all of these we would have to decentralize the internet so that other countries just couldn't jump into our system and fuck with it the way they do now. And then we would make this database to where everybody can sign up and get jobs. We would set it up so that the young would do the coming out of school would do the menial work, the lower jobs, and as you get older and you upgrade, you will get better jobs until you will be, and almost anybody would be able to spend 2 or 3 years working in the movie industry, because that's what you favor or want, because you would sign up for it and you would have to get that job at some point. It would be set up to where everybody would be able to move through the system and get the jobs they want. And then when you would retire, you would make room for other people to come in and move through the system. And when you retire, you can stabilize and do the job that you want for the rest of your days if you want, how you want to. Or just retire, because you wouldn't need money and you wouldn't need to pay rent or worry about food, because all of that would be there for us. We would bring food closer to the city so that we can take care of it ourselves, so we don't have to worry about putting all kinds of chemicals in our foods. And we'd be more natural, because right now we're killing ourselves with all of these forever chemicals that's with everything that we produce. the clothing, the new car smell that people love, that's chemicals that's put into your system. Plastics that you put food in, styrofoam that you put food in, the cellophane that you put food in, cardboard that you put pizza in, all's got chemicals. We be able to take a lot of that stuff out of it, out of our food and all our businesses and the things that we do if we just got rid of that whole factor of we need money. We need money. Give me money. Greed me for something that we don't need. Now, we do need food and all of that stuff. That's what the whole aspect of greed is for. Greed and lust, and there's 7 deadly sins, and those sins were meant to limit, not to stop, limit the natural urges that we have. Greed, lust, pride, all of these things are natural things that everybody has. It's just when it gets into excess, when you're over pushing this stuff, that's when it gets bad. When greed, lust, pride, sloth, everybody needs to sleep and lay around and relax every once in a while, but that it's all, these things are meant to drive people and to keep you working hard for massa. So that's what the 7 deadly sins are about. And they're bad when you're overdoing it. But these are natural things. So greed is something that we all have, but it's supposed to be to eat so that we can survive, for procreation, so that we can reproduce and carry on our seed so that the strongest can survive. That's where it all comes from. But we've twisted it into some other thing to where we're greedy for something we don't need, like money. We don't need it. It's something made up in order to put people in this slave mentality. Because you remember, if back in the days when the colonizers first came to this country, or the Native Americans who were first here in any native land, they didn't need money. There was no need for money. They just went and they did. Every individual person could go out and hunt and survive on his own. Today, you can't go out and survive on your own. You have to work for somebody. You have to. So you have to become a slave to somebody in order to gain something, and then hopefully one day become a master of your own and build a plantation of your own. That's what the object is when you have money, when there's money involved. But without money, you're just an individual. You're a person that can go out on your own and survive on your own without having to worry about the government and paying taxes and somebody telling you not to do this and not to do that, or how to live. That's what I don't understand about people. They say that we're better than animals, but animals are more free than any of us. Sure, society says we got to give away some freedoms. No, we're giving away all of our freedoms. You see that video that I just watched? They have no freedoms. The government, that system of control that they have, oh, that's definitely going to be on my next system of control, my matrix doctrine. But it's a system of control, and it's one of the major systems of control because it dictates every aspect of your life. Every fucking aspect of your life. They're basically children over there, being told exactly every aspect of your life. And that's what children do. They go to school, they given rules. You're born, you're given rules by your parents. You go to school, you're given rules. You go to work, you're given rules. And that's without this shit. Now they're telling you how to act on your personal existence. People have no personal existence no more. If you litter in the street, if you walk, if you jaywalk, if you do every little thing, any little thing, There's nothing left up to you anymore. No decisions left up to you because you have guidelines in every aspect of your life telling you no, not to do that. And Tch-Made America is trying to do that now to you. You got you locked up in your homes, wearing diapers on your face that don't work. None of them things work. Shit doesn't work to keep you away from germs. Germs is when it's airborne, it's in every particle. So if you walk through a contaminated section of air, you think that mask is gonna you wear that mask and you breathe through it. Does the air go through the filter through the cloth on your mask, or do you feel your hot breath shooting out the sides and blowing into your eyes when you're inhaling and exhaling? Do you feel cold air rushing in from the sides of the mask? Or so that means that it's not being filtered through the mask. The air is going to is traveling through the path of least resistance. So that means it's going out the sides because it's not fully, there's no rubber keeping or some kind of sticky substance keeping the air inside the mask and forcing it through the mesh. So every aspect of your life is being told what to do, how to do it. Today, you got Twitter. If you say something on Twitter, they tell you how to speak, how not to speak, how you're offensive to people. Back in the day, you could say what you wanted. You could say what you wanted. Back in the day, you could say what you wanted. And even to me, I'm a black man. I never said white people can't say nigger. I'm just saying that it's not right online for people to say it because I can't pop you in the mouth. Because in person, I believe you can say whatever you want. You have the right to say whatever you want. But if I pop you in the mouth, I shouldn't be arrested for it. And if we want to shoot joints, hey, that's just how it goes. I don't mind. If I take the L, I'll take the L, but I get to stand up for what I believe and what I want. And that's what I think we're losing sight of. People don't have the right to be people no more. You talking about, and that's why I say when you start talking about rights, it's bullshit. No paper can contain somebody's rights. Only a human being can to stand up for his rights. That's what the life says. When a pack of hyenas and a pride of lions go at it, that's them saying, I got the right to this shit. That's the only way people have rights. Power is aggression, period. There is no other. And rights is what you take. That's power and that's rights. Nobody can take freedom from you, and nobody can give freedom to you. They can only fucking imprison you and kill you. That's it. And that shouldn't be. I don't believe in imprisonment because you shouldn't have no creature on the planet imprisons another creature. Only man. So who's more free? Who's more free? Animals kill. I've seen a stray cat, get pregnant, have babies, and then murder its babies because he couldn't take care of it. Abortion. So we have the right to abortion. We have a right to abort how we want to. But mankind wants to put rules on you and say that you're supposed to be able to kill. Everything on the planet kills. Everything on the planet kills. Even plants, even plant life kills your ass. If we didn't have medical, you watch Naked and Afraid, any of those survival shows where you out in the woods and you step on something, and you cut yourself, you fall and hurt yourself, that could be it for you. A plant, you can step on a thorn, which a plant creates to defend itself. You can get septic and kill you. So everything is out there trying to kill you. Bees, they sting you. They don't care if you die or not. If you die, well, that's what life is. No, they might not be intending to kill you. It might just be for self-defense, to get you off of me, get you away from me, to stop doing what you're doing. But if something befalls you and you happen to go that way of the dirt, that's just it. That's too bad for your ass. But people today, we think we have a right to life. No. From the second you come on this planet, death is hunting your ass. From the moment you take air into your lungs, death is hunting your ass. That's all the promise in life that you have is death. That's it. Everything else you got to make for yourself. And that's all I'm saying. Let's get off of this crap. Let's get off of this crap. Let's go back. Let's go back more to nature. Let's get more free and make we don't have to get rid of the way we live. I'm not saying let's go live in grass huts. Even though the cities that we're building is like a scab on the surface of the planet, right? If the earth, if the grass and the soil is how the earth breathes and all of that, and we keep building cities, we take the soil and the products in the soil and we turn it into something that the earth can't use, then it's a scab. It's a scab. It's like a scab, even though a scab is supposed to be protecting the wound and helping it to heal. The scabs we create is infected because underneath it is pus and all kinds of bile and rotting flesh, because what cities produce is waste products that the earth can't do anything with. See, when we are more primitive, everything went back to the earth. Even humans. Today, we bury ourselves in boxes. And the earth can't. What if the earth needs human decay? What if the earth needs these things? I'm going to get out of here soon because I'm running into other topics. And I want to do a whole live stream about the earth needing people to die. And because people are killing off animals and people are burying their own in these metal boxes, so the earth can't get the nutrients that it needs. If you think of the earth as a living organism, how do we know? I'm just saying, I'm not saying that this is a fact. I'm saying, how do we know that the earth isn't suffering? Because we see temperatures rising, we see plant life not being able to survive, we see earthquakes, we see volcanoes, we see storms rising in severity. All of these things rising in severity. I'm going to be doing some more videos on that soon about earthquakes rising in severity and fracking and all of those things. And this is us being viruses digging into the flesh of the earth and creating a cancerous or infectious growth, and the scab that's forming is the cities, and all of the waste is the pus and the bile and the rot that's coming out from underneath it, like nuclear waste and chemical waste and all of these things, and that we're putting out there. So I believe that now this is, you might think that I'm a little crazy, but I truly believe in what I'm saying. And though I'm not a psycho that's gonna be out there trying to destroy the world or overthrow the government or anything like that, we here at I Monstrositus X and Goddamn Comics, or I am Goddamn Comics. As you see down here, this right here is an I Am Goddamn Comics production. That's my 2 channels. Goddamn Comics is one, and I Monstrositus X is the other. And we're producing Might and the Might Universe. And that's a comic book with a bunch of great superheroes in it and great bad guys. And so a lot of my ideologies that people might think is a little far-fetched, I'm going to put them on my bad guys. See, because good guys don't really have ideologies. They just good guys fighting evil. Good guys are pretty boring. So you need really good bad guys to make good guys. So a lot of my ideologies that you might think are far-fetched, you're going to see them being mirrored in some of my bad guys. Now, some of my bad guys might not be all that bad until something makes them worse, or there's some of them are going to be way off the wall. So yeah, I'm going to be speaking. I have a lot to say, and they say when you write that you need to have something to say. Well, I have a lot to say, and I'm going to have some crazy stories coming your way. We're going to be having a lot of heroes. By the second campaign, we're going to have 4 books coming to you with different aspects of my universe. Like when I say that is Mike is going to be the vehicle that drives in a lot of my new superheroes that I will be bringing to you and have spin-off books. So my new characters will come into might be introduced, either bringing a bad guy with them, or they will come in to help fight some other bad guy and then spin off into a book of their own, or some of my good guys might get killed off, and then we'll bring in other good guys to replace the ones that got killed off. So we always gonna have new ideas, and not only that, Mike is gonna be the new characters that will come in will deal with different types of aspects of the universe, such as magic. I'm gonna have a book with a group of magic guys called Black House. That's their group. They're called Black House, and they deal with magic, and they fighting black magic and dark entities and stuff like that. So that will be a book and a topic of its own. But first, it's going to be introduced in the pages of Might. So, and then later on, we're going to be bringing mummies from Egyptian themes. When I bring another character in, then we're gonna have demonic stuff and talking about demon stuff in another book that I'm gonna be bringing out, introducing another hero, and that's so on and so on. This is the types of things. My Nebula character, he's gonna be dealing with outer space. So that's gonna keep me in a topic that I like a lot. I like outer space a lot. So that's why I do. You hear me talking about stuff that I believe is a lot of fake stuff in astronomy. Yeah, astronomy. And but I got a lot of my ideas for my characters and story ideas from astronomy. So it's a catch-22. Though I think that man is making up a lot of stuff, that shit that they make up to describe the stuff in outer space, I use that to create my stories and stuff. So we're gonna have a lot of stuff to be bringing to you guys. I'm trying to get my art all together so that I can get my sign up page started, and then next month I want to get my launch I would have done it in January, but I had a death in the family, and I've just been having a rough time getting back into focus. So I'm trying to get back into everything and keep everything moving along. And Might is going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be an extraordinary, epic adventure, because I already know where Might is going. I know for the next 10, 15 years where Might is going to be going. I already have a lot of the broad strokes figured out. I just have to connect all of the fine details, the interactions between people. But I know the basic aspects. I know the major events, what they entail. I know what they're going to be about. And now really what I'm doing is I'm trying to keep pace so that I know where the other the other 3 books, the Nebula character, my outer space dude, Cameo, and Everman, I'm trying to keep focused with them. And then there's other characters I like I showed earlier in the show. Let me show you a quick here. He's This is a couple of characters that I've been working on. I'm not gonna tell you about the character, but I'm just working on designs right now because I've never drawn some of these characters. So there are some. This is just a random illustration. I was just practicing a new technique, and this is just an illustration trying to get my hands around, my head around using the digital medium. So I'm working and getting there. Trust me, I'm going to be, this is my superhero characters that I've been working on as far as for the book, the main heroes of the book. But that's what I've just showed you is basically a redesign, because the better I've been getting with my artwork with the digital medium, I've found that the old stuff that I've been doing is not up to snuff. So I've been going back to kind of redo some of the stuff that I've already done, and some of the coloring too I found has gotten a little muddy, so I have to redo some of the stuff that I've already done because I'm not happy. I'm learning. I hadn't drawn in like 20 years, and then only a year or two ago, a year and a half ago, I started writing all of the Mike stories and trying to get a handle on my drawing skills, and not only getting a handle on my drawing skills but upgrading them, because I was never an inker per se. um, I've inked a couple of drawings, but not to the level of a comic book artist of today, or of the 90s, or which I kind of liked a lot, the characters of the 90s. So I've got characters who this is a character that I was going to be bringing into the Might universe at some time. I'm not sure yet if he's a warrior on a foreign planet, an alien planet, or if he's a creature from Earth. I'm thinking of foreign planet. I'm thinking of making him a bad guy for my Nebula character. So, uh, yeah, I'm working making him a warlord of types, of kinds, of sorts. So, yeah, that's basically it, people. I gotta get out of here. It's getting late. I haven't eaten since this morning, and yeah, so this is the latest character I've been working on. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about making him a robot, an android, highly sophisticated kind. So I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, let me say thank you guys for coming through, spending some time, and yeah, thanks a lot. And I appreciate you guys coming through and spending this so long with me. And yeah, subscribe, share, do that on YouTube thing, comment, like the video, anything to help me build do that algorithm thing and help me build my channel up. I'd be much appreciated. I'd like to tell you that if you are subscribed to this channel and my other channel, I got 12 characters in the Might universe, right? And so far, just as the main superheroes, and there's going to be multiple trading cards that's going to be coming out. So if we can get monetized and get to 1,000 views, and or is it 1,000 subscribers, and whatever it is, if y'all can help me get to that point, we'll be giving away a lot of trading cards, as much as especially if our campaign goes well. I'm going to be thanking everybody by giving away a lot of trading cards. So yeah, if you guys just subscribe, like I said, that's all you gotta do. Subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. Like the video, it doesn't hurt you, cost you nothing. And yeah, we'll be back. We're gonna try to make this more consistent thing. That's another way to build the channel. I haven't been too consistent, so we're gonna try our best. I keep saying that, but we're gonna try our best to keep on top of this. This is all a new thing. Well, not that new. I've been trying to do this for about a year now. So, but staying consistent and drawing and writing and all of this stuff is all a new process for me. So, or especially on this level, I usually wrote and drew at my leisure, so it wasn't a job for me. I didn't have the same. I had, of course, I had a dream of being a comic book artist, but it wasn't in the same way that you see a lot of the comic book artists today or back in the day. I didn't have the same drive to go to a Marvel or a DC. So I always back in the day, I had friends who went to Marvel and they said that they had their work stolen. So that's what kind of pushed me to believing I had nowhere to go, in other words. So basically, now with Comicsgate, I'm trying my best and I'm trying to do everything at once, and it's kind of got me a little flustered, but not all the way. This is still my thing. This is still something that I love and I cherish, and I'm gonna try my best to bring it to y'all with the best quality, the highest quality that I know how to bring to you. So yeah, thanks a lot, and till the next time. I think tomorrow we're going to be on my other channel talking about superheroes. So, and then Saturday we're gonna be doing a Might, Max, and Relax. Comicsgate, Might, Max, and Relax. So that we can talk about Might and the status of the story and everything. So yeah, till the next time, people. Thanks again for coming, and we'll see you again.